Today we are talking about healthy baby meals when you are short on time. And if anyone knows about this, it is me because I became a single mom before my baby was 6 months old, and my baby did not like being in the car at all. At all. He would scream, cry in the car seat, did not like being in the car. And it was also, it's hard getting out of the house with a baby, first of all. So keeping the kitchen stocked with food is tricky when you have a new baby and new baby, 6 month old baby. Like the first year is just hard. And so when I discovered this online grocery store, this online organic grocery store with discounted prices and sending things to your house within a couple days, and if they don't, they send you money as an apology. It changed everything for me, and I still order from them to this day. And I'm going to talk more about it. If you're curious about it and like want to know now, just so you know, I do have the link for 40% off your first order from them. I have the link for that in the description of this video, and I love it, love it. The foods that I'm going to talk about in this video are foods that I got from this online grocery store. So, highly recommend. As far as your health is concerned, as far as your baby's health is concerned, it's always better to have homemade from scratch meals. We know this. It's not always the reality, especially when you're a single mom, especially when you're a single working mom. Even for non-single working moms, it doesn't always happen because life gets crazy sometimes. But we still want our babies to be eating the best foods. And so this is where this online grocery store comes in. I'm sure you can find these things in other places, but I like the convenience of this being sent straight to your door. And they do price match on this online store. So you might as well just get it from the online grocery store, where they will give you your money back if you find it cheaper somewhere else and not have to leave your house. You don't have to go to Whole Foods or whatever. I live in a town where we don't have a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's or like nice healthy foods. It can be really hard to find like the good organic, minimal ingredient, high quality foods around me. And especially just on top of that, just having a baby. And so anyway, when it comes to applesauce, this is a really, really popular kids snack for good reason. Now, when it comes to applesauce, just make sure it's just organic apples in there. When you look at the ingredients, and that's really like, I've never been a calorie counter for myself, and I mean, you're not counting calories for babies, but you see where I'm going here. I've never been a calorie counter. I've always only cared about what are the ingredients. And if there are ingredients in there that don't look like actual food, one of my coaches likes to call it frankenfood or chemicals holding hands. That's not something that I want for myself, and it's especially not something that I want in my baby's tummy, because especially the first 3 years of their life, their gut is not fully formed. So you want to be feeding your baby the highest quality foods possible so that they can have the best chance of living a uncomplicated, healthy life. Because the gut, there's so much determined about our health in the gut. Our immune system, 70% of our immune system is in our gut. Our hormones, mood swings, fatigue, like all of this stuff is impacted by gut health. Ability to maintain a healthy weight, like just there's so much that is impacted by gut health, and it's just so important to me that my child has a strong, firm foundation in his gut. That's why I care so much about the ingredients in his food. And so that's why I don't want him having non-organic applesauce that has other ingredients in there other than just apples. And even if it's organic applesauce and it has something else in there other than apples, or like cinnamon or some other fruit or something like that. because it's just not necessary. And I know that they make foods that it's just organic apples. This online grocery store, their like generic brand or whatever, they have organic applesauce where not only are the ingredients just organic apples, it also comes in a glass jar, not a plastic jar. They also have packets, which now that my son is more in the toddler phase, we're using more of the packets, which isn't as great as a glass jar, but we'll talk more about that later. We do what we can, right? So so that's the applesauce. And then there's also something called Pumpkin Tree Peter Rabbit Organics. And this is something that I use a lot with my baby. And the ingredients are really, really great. And it's not super expensive. So this is like, it's a puree packet. It's a baby food packet. And the ingredients are, so if there, I think there was a, what was it? It was banana, mango, broccoli, and kale. And that was the ingredients. Organic. Oh, by the way, when I was talking before about the applesauce and I said I want organic apples, it's because apples are on the Dirty Dozen list. And I linked the Dirty Dozen list in the blog that goes with this video, so that's also in the description. But that just means that they're very, very heavily contaminated with pesticides, apples in general. So you want to, or anything, all of the produce on the Dirty Dozen list, they're all very, very heavily sprayed with pesticides. So if you're shopping on a budget and can't buy everything organic, then at least get the Dirty Dozen things organic. And apples have been on there for the past several years. Anyway, so, and greens as well. Greens like spinach and kale are also on the Dirty Dozen list. So when it comes to the Pumpkin Tree Peter Rabbit Organics and the banana, mango, broccoli, kale, it's very important to me that that kale is organic. And with these packets through the online grocery store, it's organic. It's organic banana, organic mango, organic broccoli, organic kale, and then there is a little bit of organic lemon juice concentrate. So that's the only ingredient in there that, I mean, it's still a food and it's way better than any other baby food that has like, there are baby foods that have like heavy metals in there. So it's just, this is one that's safe. This is one that's good. And then one that is a little bit better than Peter Rabbit Pumpkin Tree Organics is Serenity Kids food packets. This is also on the online organic grocery store. The thing about the Serenity Kids, they have organic, high quality, just food ingredients, so that's really good. I wish the meat was organic. They do have meat in some of their packets, which is different than the Pumpkin Tree Peter Rabbit Organics that we talked about before. That's like just fruits and vegetables. And then the Serenity Kids is like a meat veggie combo. I didn't actually buy the Serenity Kids packets because if I wanted my baby to have something with meat, like with more protein, I would just make my own. And I have a whole separate like video and blog that talks about me making his baby food, and that is linked at the bottom of the blog in the description of this video. So just go to the blog for this video and scroll to the bottom and you'll find it there. And so it was really important to me that the meat going in my baby's body was organic, so I didn't buy the Serenity Kids. So I would buy my own organic meat and cook it, and then I would put it in a food processor with sweet potato and breast milk, and he loved it. So it's just very important to me. I explained why a little bit earlier, that there are no additives or preservatives in the foods that my child is eating. Now, this is very easy to control up to a certain age. When your baby isn't demanding specific foods and can't really express much of an opinion just yet, and all they can really have is what you're giving them, this is the time to be really picky about what you give them, because once they start caring a little bit more and having more of a voice, and refusing to eat anything other than like what they want to eat, then it gets a little trickier. When it comes to like the additives and preservatives, Serenity Kids has puffs, and these puffs have a lot of really good ingredients, but then they also have dicalcium phosphate in the ingredients, and I think that's a preservative. All I know is that's not food, so I don't want that. I don't want that in my baby's belly. So I did not get those puffs, and that's just an example of what I mean by no additives or preservatives. And I recently discovered the Once Upon a Farm puffs. This is all stuff that's in the organic grocery store, which you can get 40% off your first order with the link in the description of this video. And so the Once Upon a Farm puffs have really good ingredients, and I bought them one time, and my baby seemed to be, well, he was a toddler at that point, like he was past baby puffs. But those are very good ingredients, and so I would recommend trying the Once Upon a Farm puffs. I didn't know about them at the time, and so I actually bought something, they're called Paleo Puffs. It's from a brand called Lesser Evil, and I was having those for a little while, and those are pretty clean ingredients. The only thing in there that I didn't love was tapioca starch. Everything else was like just a normal food ingredient. And tapioca starch, I mean, there are worse things. And so that was something I bought for myself, and my child, I mean, he was like more of a baby at the time. He's now more of a toddler, but at the time, back in the day, he did like those puffs, and that was one thing I did let him have because the ingredients were pretty clean. He was probably close to like a year or something like that when he had those. The thing about the Paleo Puffs is the batching was inconsistent. So like sometimes you would get a puff that was good, and sometimes you would get a puff that was like really oily and really salty, and so that was kind of disappointing, so I kind of stopped buying them for that reason. And then the last thing, so I did mention that the online grocery store does price match. So the Paleo Puffs were cheaper on Amazon, but the online grocery store price matches. So I prefer to get something that's going in my body from a grocery store, not from Amazon. So just keep that in mind, that they do price match. And then the last food for to feed baby when you don't really have time to cook is brown rice noodles. My baby still loves brown rice noodles, and the ingredients are just brown rice and water. You can find noodles that have minimal ingredients, and he also really, really loved it with pasta sauce, and still does. And at that time, back when he was like first starting to eat food, he would eat pasta sauce straight. Like he would eat plain pasta sauce, and I would get the pasta sauce, all of this. I got all of this from the online organic grocery store, and it was just so easy because it got sent right to my door. Like it was a single mom's dream, a single new mom's dream. And this pasta sauce, because everything you need to look at ingredients, because even pasta sauce can have like sugar in there unnecessarily, and in preservatives and additives, and it's just not necessary because they make foods that don't have that in there. That's it. I have also at the bottom of the blog, in the description of this video, you will find a link to get to my recipe for healthy birthday cake, because if I have all of these standards for my child's food, you best believe I did not get a grocery store cake. I baked the cake myself. And it was not a box cake. It was a mommy health coach approved birthday cake, a healthy birthday cake. And then I also have, like I said before, the homemade baby food recipe blog thing at the bottom of there too. And there's also the link for 40% off your first order from this organic online grocery store, which I just couldn't say enough good things about. And their app is so user friendly too. They have an app. Like, instead of making a grocery list, you can just go on the app and be like, oh, I needed this, and just add it to your cart and just kind of have your cart sitting there for a little while. Anyway, I just love it. I love it. Okay. I've been talking for a real long time, so I'm going to go. Have a great day.